Okay, today, you guys, I want to talk about how to actually utilize choice so that it becomes your superpower. I believe that choice is one of the greatest gifts that we're given here on this planet. And when we don't understand how things work, we don't understand how to work things. So today we're going to talk about how do you utilize choice, because we utilize choice every day. The problem is we don't really understand, are we actually utilizing it to create something, or are we just doing it based on what we think we're supposed to do, right? Well, I choose to get out of bed every day. Well, do you? Do you really choose it? So I want to talk about that. I want to break it down. So let's talk about what's going on in our subconscious mind. So 0 to 7, we've all heard it. Kids are such sponges. Well, that's because their brain functioning is only able to receive. So we're receiving all of this information from around us. How to be a mom, how to be a dad, how to be a human, how to be somebody at the grocery store, how to be somebody who drives, how to be somebody with a child, how to be somebody's child, right? There's a million different forms of information that we're receiving 0 to 7. And that creates patterns, right? And then we're told that we have choice. We're told that we have choice. But let me give you an example. If you sit down and you go to a restaurant and somebody's told you that chicken is bad for you, whether you know it or not, somebody has said chicken's bad for you. And then somebody says, hey, do you want chicken or beef? You go, oh, I definitely want beef. Well, why do you definitely want beef? Well, because you've been told that chicken is bad for you, right? So are you really choosing, or are you following the subconscious patterns that you have been gifted, that you've been given, that you've received? So when we start to recognize that really choice, free choice, true choice, only comes from our conscious mind recognizing what we really desire, right? Because in that example of the chicken or beef, maybe when it came out or you saw the picture, you actually really thought you wanted chicken, but you couldn't choose it because, again, it's bad for you. Or, and this will be a whole nother video, or you have the guilt that comes along with choosing something that you know on purpose is bad for you. But we'll leave that for a different video. But when we recognize, do we really have choice? And then we say, okay, well, if it's a free choice, it only comes from our conscious mind. Okay, here's chicken, here's beef. Well, I've been told this, and I've been told this about this, but what really just feels good? What in my gut do I want to choose? That's where we start to really tap into free choice. Now, how does that get us to a point where we start to utilize it as our superpower? Well, when we recognize that a pattern redone just steeps us in that pattern. So it brings back just a lesser ability to choose because we keep reverting back to the pattern, and so it just strengthens the pattern. So when we get to a point where we go, okay, chicken or beef, I know that somebody told me that chicken was bad for me, but I feel like there's something in my gut that says I feel like I really want to try the chicken. And I actually go against my pattern to choose the chicken. What that does internally is it communicates to us that we're powerful. It communicates to us that we can overcome that old pattern. And ultimately, it allows us to recognize that we can choose who we want to be. We can choose what we want to choose. That we can choose the income that we want, that we can choose the relationships, how our relationships play out, right? Maybe you're already married and you're like, well, I can't just go choose a new spouse. Well, some people can, but maybe you just don't want to. But you want the relationship to change. Well, every time that you choose from a conscious place, when you on purpose say, I recognize the pattern that I would normally do, which maybe is to respond back to my wife that I'm right and you're wrong, or something like that. When we actually look at what would I normally do, what would the pattern be, and I say, no, I'm gonna stop in this moment and I'm gonna do something different. Just recognizing and doing something different starts to bubble up that level of power. And then when you actually tap into it and choose it, well, now it ignites that power. And now subconsciously, what's being communicated is, wait, I can choose. Wait, I do have more power than I thought I did. Wait, I do have control over the life around me. And that's how it becomes our superpower. And when we recognize how different we feel after we've chosen, then we can start to do it more and do it more. And really, it's just reversing an old pattern. But if we're not aware of what's going on and how it works, well, then we just go, oh yeah, I just choose better. And we don't recognize that we're actually empowering ourselves to continue to choose again and again and again.